Hey everybody, welcome to Build Brunch, the daily morning show where we talk about the latest topics in pop culture. I'm Brittany Jones-Cooper.
I'm Shannon Coffey.
I'm Amina Smith.
And I'm Lucas Tim. Hi, everyone.
Welcome.
Today we're going to talk about why Jennifer Garner is the fairest of them all, how Fox's Empire recently made TV history, who will portray the villain for the 25th installment of James Bond, and why love at first sight may simply be a myth. But first,
happy Bring Your Beer to Work Day! Woo! Thanks to Heineken for providing 0.0 non-alcoholic beer for the table, the perfect beer for work.
yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers, bitch.
Okay, so this actually tastes like a Heineken.
When I just spilled.
Yeah,
It does. It
which
does.
is kind of cool.
yeah, I
No, it
like
tastes
that.
just
It's
like
very
this.
satisfying.
Yeah.
I feel like this is
Refreshing.
really good if you like wanted to go to a party but you know you can't drink, like you have to do something important and you're like, I still want to look like I'm partying.
So people stop bothering you, like, why aren't you drinking? Like, oh, I
Yeah.
am.
Oh, I am.
Cheers.
Right.
But also,
yeah.
after I've had like 3 beers, I'm probably good, but I just want more.
Yeah.
So this would be like, just switch to this so I get the taste and I get the feeling, but I don't have to like
This
be
is-
carried home.
Yeah,
Also
trick
good.
your inner monster.
Also good if you're raising kids and like you want to be like the cool parent, like here, have a beer or whatever.
Right.
Make them think it's real.
I'm a cool mom, not
Yeah.
one of those regular moms.
I'm a regular mom. I love the finger
Inspiration.
reference.
So we also have Amina Smith co-hosting with us today.
Yay.
We're so happy to have you.
Thank you.
You are just a working woman, and
I
you're
am,
on
yes.
so many shows. Can you
Yes.
begin to talk about what's Emerge?
So Emerge is our high school show that we have on Stadium Sports Network, where we basically kind of preview like the stars of tomorrow. So like with the draft going on right
Right.
now, a lot of those prospects, we covered them when they were in high school. We talk about them, and so we kind of lay the groundwork for them before they go to college and go off and make a lot of money in the NFL. So.
I wish there was a version of like Real Housewives for that. Like that would be on
yeah,
that show. Like looking at the women of tomorrow who will be on Real Housewives.
exactly.
And you have another show called Inside the Association.
Yes.
So what's that show about?
So that show focuses on the NBA and like NBA Twitter, because NBA Twitter is absolutely insane. There's so much viral content there, and so we cover that with that show, cover all the playoffs, the storylines, and everything like that. It's a great time.
That's awesome.
And you have another show.
Yeah, another one.
Just
I'm
I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm like, are you gonna take over this show?
just juggling.
But I want to ask about No Filter. You host
Yeah.
that on IGTV.
Yeah, so #NoFilter actually just launched on Wednesday. So we started
Ooh.
doing that show, and it's basically kind of covering like viral content, sports content out there on Instagram and Twitter, because there's just so much. And then you have like the the great commentary with
Right.
it, kind of like adding like my own personality and spice to it. So yeah, that's kind of what that is, and we put that out on all our social channels.
And it's incredible what you're doing. You don't often see a lot of women of color in
Yes.
sports, and
Yes.
and I think I don't watch a lot of sports, but when I do love seeing women, especially women of color.
Oh, yeah.
Surprise, guys! I don't watch a lot of sports,
Surprise!
but I have watched the new Madonna video 10 times.
That was so cold that you guys
No, that was so cool. Like, there were multiple laughs. Like, they don't even know. They were like,
Yeah.
we know that, Lucas.
Yikes.
Wow. I used to play sport.
Oh, that
anyway,
was
what
shady.
I was saying about Amina over here, it's incredible what you're doing.
Yes, yeah. Honestly, like it started about when I was younger. I was a track athlete. And so once I got to college and I stopped running track, I was like, you know what? Like I love football, I love basketball, I love the energy around those sports. Why not do it for a living? Why not do what you love?
What'd
So
you
that's
run in
kind of
track?
what- I ran the 8th and mile and cross country. All the things that no one ever wants
Wait, you said
to
the
run.
800?
Yeah,
Ooh,
the
that's-
I ran back in the
that's-
day.
Look.
Hardest.
It's the hardest race in
It's
track.
so
Yes.
hard because it's in between. It's not a sprint. It's
Right.
not long distance.
No.
It's like you got to be fast enough. It's
So
it's
I
a
ran the
lot.
4, and the 4
Oh,
you just
that's
sprint,
a sprint.
you just
Yeah,
sprint,
that's a
sprint
sprint.
until
But
you
the
die.
8 has turned into a sprint.
Basically, yes.
Wow.
It's literally a sprint now.
Yeah.
It's like a 2-minute sprint, and that's 2 minutes if you're like super
Super,
fast.
super good.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
Shannon, what did you run?
Guys, actually, I do not know how to run. One time I was about to get hit by a car and I ran, and the only thing my friends reacted to was how bad I was running.
Oh, I know.
I do like a Scooby-Doo, legs up in the air, so you're an inspiration to me.
Yes.
Thank you
so
so much,
excited to
Shannon.
have you.
Thank you.
Well, speaking of another very busy woman, the era of TS7 is officially upon us. Taylor Swift dropped a new song and music video last night. The new track, titled Me, is an anthem about embracing being unique and features Panic at the Disco's Brendan Urie. Did you watch?
you watch?
Did you guys
Yeah, I
listen?
wasn't
Did you
able to
watch?
see.
We got like a mixed bag.
Next.
A mixed
You guys
bag.
stayed up late night just
To
watching
midnight.
Bill Brunch.
Right. Yeah, they only watch Bill Brunch. I get it. I get
We
it.
get you, our super fans.
So what did we think about the song, guys?
I feel like it has potential to be a good song. It's very Taylor Swift. And that's the thing, is that she doesn't really change when she comes out with new tracks and new songs and new albums. She doesn't really change who she is. She doesn't change with her fans. And I think that's where she kind of falls short.
Right.
She's not able to evolve like other artists with their fan base.
Absolutely, but that's what's so interesting because I think she thinks she's evolving because she has a lot of references to her past work, especially the snake in the beginning,
Right.
referencing
Karen.
reputation.
Her name is Karen.
Karen. Sorry.
Karen.
Oh, right, I forgot.
name.
Karen.
Yeah.
I, of course, we all know her music. I'm not a huge fan of hers, but I was disappointed because I feel like she's now been so much more politically active and really kind of trying to tap into her as evolution as an adult and a aware citizen. I was like, okay, maybe she's making music
Right.
that will be a little more conscious to what's happening today. She did not do that.
No.
And I miss the days of Love Story because that song.
Right.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
man. That first album, honestly, like I questioned. I was like, am I a country music fan?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, do I love country music?
Right.
Is that the one where she's like, when you play Tim McGraw?
Yeah.
That one, I
like,
did like that.
love story. I'm just
I did
like,
like that
Love
one.
Story's like, Romeo, take me.
Yeah,
somewhere we
take
can.
me
I sing the part, like, I
alone.
hate the song, but like,
I love it, exactly, but it
I'll talk
grows-
to your dad.
it
goes,
grows on you
"Yeah,
all the
yeah,
time."
yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
ready to keep
all the
going.
words. But that, I miss that kind of Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't get this song at all. First of all, she rhymed you with you. That's not a rhyme. That's
Same
just
word.
saying the same word again.
Cool.
I think it's catchy. It's something that my 9-year-old niece would probably really
Yeah.
enjoy.
Yeah.
But like for me, I like don't understand why she put so much effort into not something
Yeah.
that's so wholly kind of unoriginal.
The thing about Taylor Swift is like right now we're like we don't like it, but in a week literally it's
We'll
all
all
we're gonna
be
be
singing
it.
singing.
All
going
It
to be
doesn't
singing
really
it.
matter. She is kind of our dark lord that will always take over our souls.
Yeah.
I do agree. There was so much expectation for this track, especially because it's her first song under a new label. She left her label that she signed with that she was with since she was a teenager. So that I thought was gonna be a big break. But I also, like, there's been, like, nonstop rumors about this big announcement on April 26th, and a lot of people really thought that Taylor Swift was gonna come out as pansexual, and then Brendan Urie, he came out as pansexual, and he's on this song, and, like, she's been wearing the colors of the pansexual flag, like, nonstop in interviews, so I was really hoping, I mean, this video is, like, very pansexual friendly,
Yeah.
Right.
but, she's not out yet.
Well, that's definitely interesting. I didn't even know about that. But
Yeah.
speaking of the video, though, it begins with her speaking French. I'm gonna put speaking in quotes, and I like to say, hasn't the country of France been through enough recently? I'm just saying she did not bring the beauty of that language to the forefront. I was like, okay, yeah, I am shady. I'm shady.
So shady.
Yeah, that was my Nene Leakes little shade right there. Yeah, I don't know. The video was fun, but that part I was like,
I did
They
love
did
her
do enough.
cats in the beginning. Her cats are in it, Meredith and Olivia. They're really cute. They're stars in their own right.
True.
There are rumors that new cat, that kitten at the end that Brendan gives her, is her new addition to her family. I'm excited about that. Also, did you guys see the photo of the Dixie Chicks?
yes, I would say, yeah.
What's gonna happen?
Well, that's what she was posting pictures of with chicks or whatever, and the
Yeah.
Dixie Chicks responded, and I was like, okay, maybe it's a return to like country. And again, they were political, not
I
ready
want
to
them
be
Right.
back.
Yes.
I want them back.
Right.
Taylor can
Taylor
take a
Swift could bring
seat.
them back.
Let's bring
He's
the
like, Taylor
Dixie
could take
Chicks
a
back.
seat.
I love the Dixie Chicks. You just made me so
good.
happy.
Well, see, I had to watch the video 10 times to be like, what are
What
the
is
secret
this?
messages
Right.
from satanic Taylor
Right.
Swift? Because I'm all for her doing her thing, but I am really gonna miss, the snake.
dark.
I am gonna miss the darkness, the fire, her pretending to be a witch, even though we know,
Right.
she buys her candles pre-made.
Yeah. I don't know. I actually believe this Taylor Swift more than the dark. Like when she was trying to be like Beyonce on that stage with the fire, I'm like, girl.
I don't mind. I don't mind Taylor Swift kind of dipping into the bad girl
You
pond.
don't?
Because I want to see her actually be like an adult. I feel like every
Right.
time I see her, she's trying to act like she's still a teenager, and it's just like, girl, you're 29.
And speaking of which,
like-
we were discussing before, it seems like this song is very Katy Perry 10 years
Yes.
ago. And at a time when I think we were all like in the Obama years, yay! And like we want that dumb pop songs. And I
Yeah.
think like that's a little mismatched the time right now.
Yeah.
And now we're all depressed. Like, look
Right.
how dark it is
Yeah,
outside.
dark
It's the middle of the day and it looks like
outside.
it's midnight. Like the world is crumbling, Taylor. We need a more serious
A
song.
serious song that like I'm overcoming obstacles here.
I mean, I'm sure that the sky is only this color because you didn't give her good reviews. She controls the sky. You should
she
be
controls
nicer.
the sky.
Well, when
There
she
you go.
brings back the Dixie Chicks, I will give her good reviews.
She's gonna.
Moving on, Jennifer Garner has earned bragging rights for eternity. The actress has been named People Magazine's most beautiful and graces the cover of this week's issue. So what do we think about Jennifer Gardner? I actually really like this choice. For me, Jennifer Gardner is just so authentically likable. And I read in the article that she was like, I never was told I was pretty. I grew up not even thinking that. And I think a lot of women can relate to that when you kind of just have to like come into your own and create your own vibe. And so I really, really liked that they picked her for the cover.
And she also got on the Ellen show, and at first she thought it was just like ridiculous for her to be on the cover of like a beautiful issue. But it was funny because she was just like, it's an honor, but she never really saw herself like that. But I like that she's not only beautiful on the outside, but on the inside as well. You know, I feel like that's like super important. Like when you have these issues where it's like sexy or beautiful, like in the past it's always been like what you look like, and I feel like now it might be evolving just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I agree. I love that she is a family woman. She's like she's like joking around about how after a photo shoot, her kids will like, she'll get home and they'll be like, take off that makeup, put on your ponytail and your sweats. Like they just want their mom, and to her, that's like the biggest compliment. So I really love that. I also loved there was a theme of like no makeup and bare faces, which I really love. We saw Gabrielle Union, Cindy Crawford, Vanessa Hudgens with no makeup.
Gabrielle with the freckles.
Really love the presence of wrinkles in this issue. There are so many like crow's feet that didn't get photoshopped, which I'm like, we need that representation.
Shout out to Glenn Close. We love you.
Do this.
And a lot of the women who went makeup free were in their 40s. And I think that was really important to show the wrinkles and like the freckles
100%.
and all those things that happen underneath their makeup.
And I think People magazine's been trying to make up ever since they named Blake Shelton Sexiest Man Alive.
Oh my God. That was a fail. I'm sorry. That was a fail.
That was something we all struggled through as a nation. We overcame it. We were together. It was, but I think with this issue, and there has, I'm sorry. I know, it's a lot. I'm sorry I brought it up.
I like to pretend that Blake Shelton doesn't even have genitals. He's attached to the chair on The Voice, and he just swishes them. That's all he does. Like at night, he does not go to a bedroom where he makes love with people.
Don't think about it.
Okay, back to people.
Think about Taylor Swift. Yeah.
Okay,
A little bit better.
Well, she's Pan.
But with this issue, I do actually see some sort of evolution of the most beautiful issue. I mean, you have Sandra Oh, who is fantastic, and you have more women of color, like Lupita's on here, but as well as you have women who don't typical body sizes that we deem, like Amy Bryant and Melissa McCarthy, two very talented women. So I think they're kind of changing what beautiful means. So it's not just outside, but like inside, the work you do, like what your accomplishments are, and I like that movement with this issue.
And I think they did that. They actually started that movement, I believe, like maybe the last two. They said beautiful means like inside outside, and I think having somebody like Selma Blair, we see, who has like recently come out with her MS diagnosis and has been so brave, like that is so beautiful. So the term beautiful is a lot more broad with this.
Yeah, I am excited to see an even better issue, because I feel like it is still very like ableist. Like I want to see more people, more bodies, like more representation. There's not many people with disabilities on this list. So it's like we could still do a lot more. Here it's still like the most like generic form of like, look at us being brave. And it's like, you can be braver. You guys can fucking blow it out of the water. But I was really excited to see, I know you're probably gonna mention MJ Rodriguez. Yes. Oh, she's from Pose. We love her. I mean, Latina, trans woman, we gotta bring it.
Oh, I had the same thought when you have it.
Whenever I see the cast of Pose, I think of you, or any Ryan Murphy show, but I just love Pose. MJ Rodriguez is just starting her career. I think she's gonna be huge.
She is if you watch that show Pose, and it's kind of a slow burn when you get into it. It is such a fantastic show about this incredible world that I'm so glad it's being told, but she is such a light. And I'm so happy people featured her, because it's a big magazine that people in Middle America will read and they're like, who's MJ Rodriguez? Maybe they'll check out Pose, check out who she is, and it's so fantastic seeing her in this issue.
They're definitely moving in the right direction. I know, I definitely agree with you when you say that they could do more, but at least they're moving in the right direction and being more inclusive, including more body shades, more women of color from different backgrounds. I like it.
But still, Jennifer Aniston and Julia Roberts are on the list. They are on the list
every single year. When I looked at it yesterday, I was like, dang, how many times has Julia Roberts? I feel
5 times.
Oh my God.
But she's been
Jennifer
in it.
Aniston?
Like she's been on a cover like 5 times, right?
I think, she has like the record for
Yeah.
5 times.
my
yeah.
God.
Even when she's not on the cover, she's in the issue.
See, I feel
always.
like that's the generic, like, when they have, like,
Yeah.
the people, like, beautiful issue, I think Julia Roberts, I think of, like, Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
And, like, no shade to Jennifer
shade,
Aniston,
they're
but,
beautiful.
like, yeah, she is beautiful, but, I mean, it's nothing, like, where I'm like, oh, my gosh, like, Jennifer Aniston, like, she is gorgeous. Like, I'm just like, okay, it's Jennifer.
Like, we know that.
She's cool.
Well,
Yeah.
moving on. Empire has made television history with the first primetime wedding between 2 black men. The episode aired in a time of contention with the actor Jussie Smollett incident, since the TV marriage took place between Smollett's character Jamal and Toby Onwumari's character Kai. The cast recently wrote a letter to Fox saying Jussie should be brought back for the show's next season.
Yeah, and that letter was signed by Terrence Howard, Taraji P. Henson, Nicole Ari Parker. All the main headliners are backing him up.
And addressed to Dana Walden, as well as the executive producers Lee Daniels, Danny Strong, Francis Calfa, Brian Grazer, all the people that like make the decision. So it's a very formal letter that they are, and they mention all his charity work. Like they are like, this is the Jussie we know, and we want him back for next season.
And I get it, the charges were dropped and his character is so pivotal. I mean, look at this episode, look at what that's doing for representation. And if the charges were dropped, it's like, let the man work. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, like his castmates know him best. They work
Yeah.
with him day in and
Right.
day out. And I read the letter like full, and they were talking about like his community service, his leadership, teaching younger kids in Chicago like music and all that other stuff. I mean, if they know him best, and we really don't know what happened
don't.
with that
And we never
situation.
will.
Everyone at this point is still speculating, and
Right.
if he's maintaining his innocence and those charges got dropped, I mean, just leave it alone.
He's maintained his innocence the entire time, and that I have to say, it's like, I feel like if you got put through the ringer the way he was, then you would have broken. I feel like he stuck true to his story, and I think it has to be real. Like he's not being, their charges are dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like let him get his show back.
It's such an interesting and sad debate that's happened, and I went from being so for him, of course, to then being so confused.
Right.
But yeah, I think like you all just pointed out, if the charges are dropped, and I know the city is suing him because they want him to pay the $130,000 this case cost, and I know there's the DA who's very upset, and the police are upset, and the outgoing mayor is upset as well. But I don't think we're going to accomplish anything, because honestly, I feel like what happened, because we've talked about it on Twitter and the media, ruined it. And there's they put too much out there, and the police were talking about it too much, and there'll be never an unbiased view on this. Everyone's minds have been made up, basically, how you're going to view this.
Yeah, and I do think his character's needed on Empire. To this episode, this is the first time we've seen 2 black gay men married on television. And there's so many other parts of this dynamic that are important. First, Kai's character is HIV positive.
Right.
They've explored that storyline and showed how monogamous partners can be healthy and safe together. And then, obviously, the evolution of Lucius, his father, in the beginning was so homophobic and said some of the most vile things to his son. And then we see him walking his son down the aisle so he can spend his life with his love. So I think those things are so special and so important. And I feel like Jussie has carried that torch so strongly.
Yeah, I used to religiously watch Empire. In season 1, I mean, his character, you think about how far we've come in about 6 years or whatever. When he sang You're So Beautiful, and then makes When a Boy Loves a Man, whatever, and like that was a huge thing. Like that song meant so much to me. And that's why it was always so surprising when this whole thing came out, because he's such a positive light on the show and off screen usually. So yeah, I don't know. Empire has not been officially picked up. Most likely it will be. I think it's still Fox's, at least one of their top rated dramas. So I don't know how they would move the show on without him.
Because see, I read also that they had like some of their lowest ratings this season. And I mean, I used to watch Empire like in and out all the time, but then I just like fell off.
Yeah,
It
well,
fell off.
season
it was just
1
so
was
much happening in the storyline, and I was just like, I can't follow it. Like, I'm tired of Cookie and Lucius going at each other.
Well,
like the record label crumbling. It's too much.
The record
It's
label
too
crumbles
stressful.
every other season, and then Cookie had her own label, and she's over here, then they're doing this, and then why the hell is Mariah Carey here just pretending not to be Mariah Carey, but she's like Mariah Carey? Like, what the hell is that happening?
So random.
You're like, wait, but apparently
Somebody got shot.
Someone got
Yes, and then someone got shot.
and then you got it was that show, but apparently this season was one of the best seasons though.
So I had dipped in this season because I
Yeah.
had dipped out and then I came back.
Yeah.
And it was really good because again, Jussie's storyline was so compelling. And then Lucius and Cookie were like together, and I love when they're like in love. It's so fun to watch. So it was good this season.
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. I mean, if it does come back, I will be interested. I probably will. If he's back on it, I will probably
for sure.
watch.
I feel like they'll bring it back, but it might be the final season.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
I
that's
think
okay.
it'll be the final
Wrap
season.
it up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
then they
just
should
put a bow
definitely
on
bring him
it.
back for the final season.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely. They should definitely bring him back
Yeah.
for the final season, but this is the season you put a bow on it.
Yeah.
I mean, you put
Put
a
a
bow
bow
on
on
it.
Taraji's busy anyway, so I'm
Yo,
surprised. that
she's super booked and busy.
Super booked. She's a
Super
movie
booked
coming
and
out
busy.
every other week.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love
So
that.
good.
Put a bow on.
Yeah. Whatever.
We'll put a bow on this story now, too. Well, it's time to meet the new Bond villain. After much speculation surrounding the 25th James Bond film, the producers have revealed that Rami Malek is a bad guy. Actor Daniel Craig will once again star as Agent 007, but this will be his last ride as the super spy. Daniel Craig heads in the audience, huh? You guys going wild.
Yeah.
Dun, dun. I forgot the theme song.
Dun-na,
I was like,
Yeah, it's been a while since I
What
watched
was I
like a
singing
Bond
in my
movie.
head? I was like, dun, 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 dun. That's our theme song. Brunch. That's the real 007. He
Wait,
works
what
at
is
brunch.
the 007 song?
Dun-na, dun, dun-na, dun, dun-na.
A lot of horns. Yeah, like
Dun-na.
This is my favorite one. We're like, what are theme songs?
what a theme song.
Yeah, I mean, this is cool. This movie's been in the works for a while and gone through a lot of like ups and downs with new directors, new writers. Cary Fukunaga, who did the first season, True Detectives,
Yeah.
directing it. And Phoebe
Waller-Bridge.
Yeah.
it came back to rewrite the script, which I think is really cool. Woman is basically the
Yeah.
head
So
writer.
Can I jump in?
Yes.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge wrote Killing Eve the first season, and she has Fleabag, and her sense of humor is so dope. It's like dark and edgy, and she can make the darkest stuff hilarious. So that actually makes me want to see this Bond film because I
Yeah.
feel like they'll handle it in a whole different way.
I think it's gonna bring her involvement in this film is gonna actually bring Bond to a wider audience
Yes.
because I feel like I don't know about you guys, but I don't know anyone who's been talking about these Bond films
No.
at all.
Oh,
like
yeah,
people are
no.
like Daniel Craig, his final one. I'm like, what? Huh?
Right.
Who? I don't know what that's all about. Who is he? Like I didn't know anything about the Bond films, so I'm really excited for Phoebe to be involved because
Yes.
she is brilliant.
She's brilliant.
I
And
feel
she
like-
writes female characters.
Right,
Yeah.
finally.
So we won't see any Bond girls being like, they're just gonna be gone. Hopefully they have knives. I can't wait. I can't wait to see women killing people. Maybe Rami Malek will be murdered by a woman. That would be awesome.
Yeah. I co-sign.
Yeah, right? I mean, no offense to him, he's cool, but I do think that he got cast in this film based off of that video he made where on Twitter where he was like, I'm a fan of slow walks on an escalator.
so
and you're like,
creepy.
what? He's so creepy.
creepy. But that's why he's the perfect villain because
Yeah.
he has like that natural creepiness, which
Right.
I don't know if that's a compliment or anything like
Yeah.
that,
But it's true.
he has like this natural creepiness about him that's just like, oh yeah, let's cast him for the villain.
Yeah, you
But-
remember how creepy he looked opening that champagne at the Oscars?
Well, that,
Oh, yeah.
that was an act.
everything he does looks creepy.
But that was an act of terrorism.
Yeah,
Let's
he
be
was
real.
like
He
weirdly
drenched
like,
those poor people who probably rented their tuxes
Right.
from
Right.
Men's Warehouse, had to return those.
were in
And he's
Gucci
like,
gowns.
they're like, why?
That was the most villainous thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
he was like aiming for the lights and the carpeting on purpose. And I was like, do you have no respect for the cleaning staff? Please.
None
Yeah.
whatsoever.
He's behind us right now. Right.
Right.
I'm like,
Exactly.
oh no,
I
he's here.
did-
He's gonna get me.
I saw him filming Mr. Robot a few weeks ago, and it was just like him in a hoodie, just like running around. I'm like, wow, who is that? Like, hoodlum. Oh, it's Rami Malek.
Scary.
Cool. Yeah, you know, apparently Daniel Craig is getting paid roughly $50 million for
50?
50.
I think he'll get a piece of the box office. I think it's a whole
Wow.
package. Yeah, because he literally said last time like he would like rather pull out his eyelashes to play James Bond again, would only do it for the money, and so they paid him the money, and he's back.
They brought out the bag.
But
I
I
want
think-
Idris Elba. I'm sorry.
Well-
That's who I want. I don't want to watch another Bond film until it's Idris.
I know. Well, hope.
That's exactly
Yes.
how I
That's
feel.
what I
Like, I just want to see Idris Elba as James Bond. That's
Right.
really like, because I mean, Daniel Craig is cool, but I mean, I really want to see Idris Elba. Maybe
Yeah.
like a shirtless scene, maybe.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah, I just
yeah.
want to see him put a shirt on and it disintegrates. Like he's like, I just can't. And you're like, oh, I know.
But I'm also worried that he will bring like DJing into James Bond because he's like really into his music right
Oh,
now.
yeah.
And I get to see him like James Bond. He's like really quick. I gotta
And
spin
it's
this really
it
quick.
starts with him at Coachella, and he's like, I can't hear you, Em. I'm too busy spinning that track. And like, James, James.
I know we're joking, but I guarantee he will find a way to work it in.
Right.
It's okay with me. He can spin this pussy. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. My mom's gonna be so angry because this is her man, so she's gonna be like, "How dare you steal my man?" I'm like, "I'm sorry."
But what if they throw us for a loop and make like Donald Glover, James Bond or something?
no.
Yeah, but I want to.
know.
No, am I the only one who'd want to see that?
But why
Yeah,
not? Why
just
not a
you.
woman?
Come on.
Why not a woman?
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
I
Why
mean,
not see like a
me.
badass
why not?
woman?
Shit.
Wait, what? I think I'm the next James
James
Bond. Remember when I was like, I can't run at the beginning of the show, and now I'm like,
Right,
I
it's a
can
lot
be
of
James
running.
Bond. Yeah,
of
I just realized I don't have to do a
I can see, you know that
it's like this. So this is a gun.
improv, yeah.
In improv?
This is you pointing your finger.
Right, improv 101. When
Yeah.
you hold things like the way you would
Yeah.
But what if
hold an
it's
actual
like
gun.
this? Because they
Yeah.
hold guns.
Well, you're not leaving any room in your fist. You're like
Right.
closing it. You're just doing.
but they always hold it. They're like.
You can do like
For
this.
dramatic effect.
Yeah.
Now we're an improv troupe, right? edit.
Well, guys, do you believe in love at first sight? Well, according to Cosmo experts, say that the concept isn't real and that you're actually experiencing strong attraction to a person, but most likely not love.
Wow. Thank you, scientists.
Right. But it's like, wow, didn't realize
Staying up
that
at
one.
night, right? Were you just like having trouble sleeping? You're like, is it just a physical attraction or real love?
See, that's just like, it's almost like the news is like, yeah, water is wet. Like, come on. Like, when you first look at someone, like, you look at them not like, oh my gosh, like, that's my soulmate. It's like, no, they're hot.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
Let's take a poll. Who believes in love at first sight? Clap.
there's about 4 people.
We've got like 4 or 5
about
people.
4 people.
That's not nothing.
Yeah.
I think, okay, so stay with me here. And I know
He's about to take us on a
Take us
ride.
down this
Yeah.
road.
Take us on a ride.
okay, she is my ex. Yes, she. So
Sports.
it's a spectrum. When I met her the first time, I had a feeling I never felt before, and it wasn't just attraction. I fell in love with her that first night, that first dinner we went out. And yes, we talked. But I remember seeing her, and this like wave hit me, and that was 4.5 years.
Yeah,
I mean,
and then where are you guys now?
so there's no alcohol in this, right?
Okay.
Sips
But
beer.
No.
Sips
Love
beer.
it. Okay,
We
you
had
know what?
this conversation on the
Yes.
show. Love does not mean forever. The
Yeah.
concept of forever isn't even real, you guys. Quit it. Stop it, okay? You're all gonna end up outside of your human form. You're gonna die. So, like a 7-year relationship, a 5-year relationship, that is like substantial, and that is love, you know?
Thank you.
I agree. I just
Shannon.
wanted to put a button on the story, okay?
You and your buttons and bows.
I love your buttons and bows.
Put a bow on it.
Well, my story's still not finished yet, boo.
My story's still being written.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what I wanted to defend the love at first sight believers.
I don't know if I believe in love at first sight, but I do think you can meet somebody and your souls connect really quickly. And you feel that.
Yes.
But I don't know if that's love, because to me, love is an action. Love is sacrifice. Love is patience. Love is kind. All of that.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And you have to know if you're willing to go to those lengths for somebody, and you can't say that on the first night.
Yeah,
That's true.
love is hard work. Like, it's not just like you look at someone and then it's just like, oh, like we're in a relationship. Love is hard work.
Yeah. Right.
Like, you have to be willing to give and take and compromise. Like, it's sacrifice, which is a huge thing. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just I'm just being cynical. I just don't.
No, it's
Love at first sight.
No,
for
it's
me.
science.
Yeah, I think it's
No, it's
hand in
science.
hand. To back up Lucas, I will say, everyone I've been in a relationship with, I have just known from the moment I saw them, like, oh, this is gonna be a thing.
Yes.
right.
And we did fall in love, and maybe it wasn't like immediately, like I was like, I'm gonna do your laundry, like I wasn't thinking that I was gonna do their
Let me
laundry.
fold your underwear.
Yeah, but I was
Yeah.
eventually ending up, in the prison of being like, oh, these little shit mark undies go with that,
I love him.
Oh, that's how they get ya.
Yeah.
I love him. He keeps peeing on the floor, but I
Yeah.
love him.
But speaking of which, is like this had me thinking when I first said I love you and that feeling.
Yeah.
I knew I was gonna say it. Like, it was her birthday. I landed in Chicago. I was sweating and that feeling I had. But I was like, I love you. Like, we're at lunch or whatever, and it felt really good. But I was the first one to say it, and that's always like, oh, you can be the first one. But like, you kind of I feel like when you're in a good relationship, at least in the beginning, you both know it's like it's happening soon.
And that's what Shannon, I think I definitely have, every guy that I've dated, I'm like, I knew that it was gonna develop into something. I wasn't like over him right away like I am with so many other people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe that's some degree of lust or love.
Yeah,
or,
there must
I don't
be
know what kind of word it
something in our human brains that
Right.
know, like, oh, this is legit, and this isn't just like, blah, blah, blah,
Right. Yeah.
It's a fingering drive-by is what I think I should do.
Huh.
Things happen.
Yeah.
It's New York,
And again, I think I've been around now enough. I've been around town enough to know like when it's first like a sexual attraction versus
He's
like
a hoe.
emotional. Yeah. The end of this story is the button is I'm a hoe.
Yeah.
That's the button of this
Yeah.
of this story. But yeah, I definitely feel like I know the difference now between like that you feeling that like
Lust.
attraction versus like pure lust.
Yeah. And people get confused a lot of the time between love and lust. And it's just like that physical attraction. People are just like, oh, yeah, like I'm so in love. It's so like, no, you just love the sex. That's just about it. That's nothing else.
I mean, that's why people say if you can delay the sex part just like a couple dates, you at least get like a better idea of where you, because if you do it right away, it's just like you're just caught up in this thing until you see where it lands.
I know, but I feel like that's actually a really hard thing.
It is very
I'm
hard.
sure like, if you're vibing with someone, you're just like, yeah, let's do this.
do it.
But then again, I've had friends who, have sex the first date, and then it just unravels so quickly after that.
Because it turns into something else.
Right.
At first it can be like this mental connection and you're like falling in love with this person, and then sex just like does change things. So if you
So
can.
you would recommend don't do first date.
I mean, everybody has their own system, whatever feels good to you. But I think like 3 to 5 dates is like a good window for most people where you can like feel like you kind of know the person. And if you have that attraction, building that tension can be really like sexy and fun. That's my opinion.
Well, someone just growled in the audience.
Just growl.
Security! Watch out. Let's
Wait,
protect
what's your
you.
number though? What's your number? Let me know this after the show. Okay. On that note, that's all from us, guys. And thank you to Amina for co-hosting. We'll see you on Monday, same time, same table. Have a good weekend, guys.